Transformers: The Last Knight is the fifth installment, that's right, the fifth, in the Transformers franchise, which began 10 years ago and is once again directed by Michael Bay, who said after directing the first three films that he was finished with this franchise. Then he directed the fourth film, Age of Extinction, and said that one would be his last. Now he's back for this fifth installment and has said that this one will be his last one. But I wouldn't bet on it. Growing up, I was not a Transformers fan. Aside from receiving a few of the toys on one Christmas as a kid, I didn't know Transformers all that well at all. I didn't even watch the cartoon show. My real introduction to the Transformers brand was the first of these 5 movies. I really enjoyed it, and I consider it to be the best of this series. But my reason for going to see it was because I was already kind of a big fan of Michael Bay's previous movies like Armageddon, The Rock, The Island, the 2 Bad Boys movies, and even Pearl Harbor, even though that is my least favorite one of his. Michael Bay can be a really good director when he tries, but the Transformers movies, especially the 4 sequels, seem to illustrate what some of the actors he has worked with on those past movies of his that I mentioned have said about him placing too much importance on the action and special effects and not nearly as much on the acting or the stories. Nowhere in his filmography is that more apparent than here in this franchise, especially in the sequels. Plus, these films seem to have a habit of focusing too much on the human characters and not enough on the Transformers characters. Even Optimus Prime is not in this movie enough. I understand that there should be people in these movies so that there are characters that the audience can relate to, but the majority of the human characters are not all that interesting. Some of them are stereotypes, and almost all the women look like models for Maxim or Victoria's Secret. Here, Bay seems to be attempting to hide all of this film's incoherent story elements and uninteresting characters with his usual amazing visuals and action set pieces and CGI animated Transformers. With the 4 sequels in this franchise, you can't help but suspect that he was just being lazy in his direction. The action scenes, actually the movie as a whole, are just fireworks because we really don't care about any of the characters and there's no real emotion or drama. This film simply features more of all the things that this franchise has become famous for, and even hated for. Human characters, sometimes too many, that all feel unnecessary and are uninteresting. Frantic editing, so much action happening at once, with so much detail happening at once. Awkward dialogue, awkward humor, and overall a whole lot that doesn't make sense. Plus, each of these movies do way overstay their welcome, and this one's like 2.5 hours long. Also, what was the deal with the black widescreen format bars at the top and bottom of the screen coming and going throughout certain shots? In one shot, they were not there. In the following shot, they were there. Then in the shot after that, they were not there. It was like this aspect ratio switch from IMAX mode to normal digital mode. To the filmmakers, was that the best you could do with a $217 million to $260 million budget? You didn't think it would be noticed? Well, you know what? I noticed. Now that I have said all of that, you must be thinking, wow, he must really hate this movie. Well, no. It's not that I hate it. I'm well aware of the criticisms that these movies receive, and those criticisms are so obvious on screen. I hear and watch people tear these movies apart a lot, and I don't and won't fight them on it. However, movies can always be purely entertaining, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what these movies are, purely entertaining. The first 4 movies are guilty pleasures of mine, and this one is no different. I own the first 4, and I will buy this one eventually. There, I said it. Thank you so much for watching, and there will be more because Lehtonen's Home Theater is always showing.